Welcome to the second part of the discussion of Captive by Francis Slater. Follow the discussion and remember to refer to your notes as you do so. The poem Captive is a monologue. There is just one person speaking, the mine worker. He complains about feeling captured. He spends his time on a bed, a hospital bed, on the mine premises. For this reason, since we only hear the mine worker, the poem is called a monologue. There are two important themes discussed in the poem. The first is the one of freedom versus captivity, which so far we really couldn't miss. The mine worker comes from a rural village and now feels trapped while working at the mines, and feels even more trapped being confined to his hospital bed. The second theme is the effects of migration. The mine worker has had to move to the mines because he needs the income, but here he is unhappy and longs to be home. Francis Slater, just a bit of background, grew up amongst the farms in the Alice area where he learned to speak Xhosa. He spent a lot of time with the Xhosa boys, learning more about their language, customs, habits and folklore. This greatly influenced his poetry. In this poem he puts the speaker in the position of a black migrant mine worker who has become ill and who longs to go home. If you look at the title, Captive, it expresses that the speaker feels trapped. He's confined to his hospital bed. He works at the mine when he would rather be at home in his rural village. Look at the subtitle as well. The subtitle is Lament of a Sick Xhosa Mine Labourer in a Compound Hospital. It's a lament because he passionately expresses his grief while he is sick, lying there on the hospital bed. In the compound. The compound is on the mine premises. It is a hostel type of lodgings where people working on the mines lived or still live today. He compares himself in line 1 to a wild bird caught in a slip knot snare. He feels tied down to his hospital bed, trapped like a wild bird that has been caught. The wild bird could be caught by using a slip knot snare, a trap made of rope like a lasso. The speaker remembers the boys in his village making these snares using the tail hairs of a cow. They plaited those tail hairs of a dun-coloured cow. The dun-coloured cow is a dull greyish brown colour, to plait a little rope that is almost invisible and which the bird would not be able to see. In the same way, the speaker did not see the dangers of going to work in the city mines, where the work conditions are terrible, which is where he got ill, which is where he is now unable to leave. He says he lies on his bed, tethered in the toils of fever. He feels like the bird, he is trapped, so the simile stretches over 4 lines. He lies tethered in the toils. Notice the alliteration, the repetition of the T's at the beginning of these words. His movement is restricted like an animal that is tied down. He feels trapped in the toils, which is a net of fever, which ties him down as if with ropes. He lies there and burns and shiver while he listens to the buzzing of the flies. He's alternately hot and cold, like one might expect from the fever, the typical symptoms of a fever patient. And he doesn't have much to do as he lies there except to listen to the buzzing of those flies, the buzzing onomatopoeia for the noise made by the flies. He listens to the flies that flutter vainly. Notice the alliteration again, flies that flutter, the sound their wings make. They flutter vainly, they are held captive, they're unable to leave. Those windows will not allow them through. They can see to the other side, they can sense their freedom, but they cannot leave, since the pains will hold them. They will constantly hit the window when they try to escape. Those windows are personified as being cold, hard, and deceiving. They act like a cruel person, as if they are really trying to keep the flies on the inside. They reflect the speakers, these words, cold, hard, and deceiving. These words reflect the speaker's negative state of mind. He cannot escape. Now something important is added after the colon. Like the flies, like them, the flies, the speaker would like to escape. And he repeats, and escaping towards his freedom, to emphasize his eagerness to get away as soon as possible. He wants to hasten, to hurry to his home that shines in a valley afar. He's a great distance from his home. He dreams about it from afar. His home is beautiful, it is shiny, it shines to him, it is his happy place, unlike the mines where he is unhappy. His tone is one of longing. This is where he cannot go because he has to work. He dreams of his home, the brightest tooth in the jaws of the distant. Once again, the tone is one of longing and of nostalgia. He uses a metaphor to compare his home to the brightest tooth in a jaw full of many teeth. It's the one that shines, that stands out, the one that you most admire. But it is held in the jaws of the distance, which makes things disappear, which snatches away what you want to achieve or where you would like to be in this instance. There now the cows I love are feeding in some quiet sun-washed vale. There now, there, in contrast to here, in the second last line, the cows he loves are feeding in a valley bathed in sunlight. The people and the animals are at home there and enjoy their freedom. As the cows graze, their lazy shadows drink the sunlight. Their lazy shadows, the laziness, emphasizes the idea of peace and quiet. They move the sunlight away from the grasses as if sucking up the sunlight. And the sunlight ripples on the grasses. The heat waves created by the sun makes a rippling movement like stirring water would. There, through the long days, girls and women among the mealies chant and hoe in this enchanted, magical, beautiful place, far from where he is now. The girls and women are working among the mealies, and as they work, they chant. Chant is when you use words repetitively in a tuneful, song-like way, like, don't you worry, don't you know, we will teach you from our homes. That is chanting. And they chant, sing as they work, and they hoe. They use a long-handled tool for weeding. And there's no mention here of the hardship or of the heat, simply of the wonderful time that they are having. Their swinging hoes are like the glitter of sunshine on water. The scorching sunlight is reflected on the hose, and it's like water glimmering when the sunlight reflects from it. He focuses on the positive. The unity and happiness of the women are emphasized. There now, shouting happy herd boys, while they watch the cattle browse, are busy doing something else. Note again, it's there and not here where he is in the second last line. There now, he knows what is happening at this time of the day. He knows exactly what they will be doing. The Happy herd boys will be shouting. They will be happy as they watch the cattle browse. They need to take care of the cattle during the day. While they watch the cattle, they have time to play. They're busy molding mimic cattle, making cattle clay oxen from clay moist and yellow. They're forming those oxen with their hands. There, once again, in contrast to here later on, there in the evenings when the sun has folded his wings that dazzle and has sunk into his hidden nest beyond the hills, and he sees the sun in his imagination, in its brightness. And in its brightness it's like a bird that folds its wings and settles down into its nest, which is formed by the hills. In the evenings there, everybody, cows included, will group together gaily around the crackling fires. They'll all get together, notice the atmosphere of contentedness in contrast to the atmosphere in the hospital and in the hospital bed where the unhappy miner is all alone. He knows this is what they'll be doing. He knows what the habits are, the rituals that people follow there in his valley where he used to live. And together those people will chew the juicy cut of gathered day. They'll speak about what has happened and again enjoy the events of the day. Like the cows will regurgitate their food and once again chew through what they have eaten already. And greybeards, as they sit there around the fire, the old men will tell stories. They'll tell stories of old battles from very long ago, of cattle races from the day of old. They'll tell of hunting, of hunters that are brave, that are fearless, that will face the lion and not be scared of its roaring. They'll face the lion's thunder. Of hunters that stalked the lightning leopard to his lair. Notice again the alliteration here. Hunters not scared of the leopard as fast as lightning, but hunters that followed the leopard all the way to where it slept. Not scared of it. Note, he feels proud of those hunters. He thinks nostalgically of their experiences and of what he used to be part. And then a dash. And we have to wait. But here I burn and shiver and listen to the buzzing of the flies against the ceiling window panes. He repeats, he's trapped. He cannot leave. He has to return. Having dreamt of that valley far from where he is, he returns to his hospital bed and his fever and his loneliness. The tone changes from nostalgia and longing to bitterness and an inability to make peace with working at the mine far away from home and at being confined to a hospital bed. That brings us to the end.